This is Irontrader, and this is Midday Trading. So I'm going to take a look here at some stocks. First of all, we'll take a look here at OneStream, OS, NVDA, Meta, Google, Tesla, and Amazon. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, selling stock, market, ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have OneStream daily chart. Now, before we get into it, I'm sure everybody heard Powell here. You know, I used to be a big fan of Powell, but I can't believe that he totally wussed out like this and caved. Okay, now he opened up the door for a September rate cut. Okay, and he's talking about the jobs. There is no problem with jobs. Where I live, you can go anywhere. If you want a job in construction or in the restaurant business or in retail or banking, everyone is hiring. There is no issue with jobs. You have to look at what's creeping in with the inflation, with the CPI and the PPI report. The CPI, when you read through it, the inflation is starting to come in, same way with the PPI. Now, right now, the businesses are eating a lot of that tariff and all that supply. But eventually that's going to come right to the consumer. Okay? I just lost complete respect for this guy. He's going to go out like a total POS out of his job when he leaves here. I just don't understand this. All you're going to do is raise inflation. When you start cutting rates, then more inflation is going to start piling in, and then we're going to run into a massive problem here down the road. I don't understand this guy's thinking. I just don't get it. I used to like him. Boom. He's done. I can't take wishy-washy people, okay? Say what you mean what you say. That's how I am, okay? All right, my rant is over. All right, let's take a look here at the OS here. All right, here we go. Now, we have the OS. There's a guy in the trading room here, person I should say in the trading room, that's trading this, got a little stuck here, maybe up on the top situation, and now looking to get out of it. Now, however, this is actually looking up very, very nice. See, we have this low, okay, at that 18.99, and then we retested that low, okay, with a 19.22. So we have this nice double bottom, just like we had this double bottom from here over to this level right here, okay? See how that nice? We had this nice double bottom situation going on the charts. Now, what the key is going to be this 8-day. Now, you can see here today, we went above, okay, but right now we're just stuck right at the 8-day. See, this is why you trade the charts, okay? So right now you're looking at that 2021. We get above it, we'll go to today's high, that 2054, and then we're looking at the top of that candle, that 2077 level. We work our way up here, 2099. We have 2133, and then we come up to the top of there at 2160, and then we have that nice 21-day at 2195. Now, this is going to be strong resistance, but that 8-day, you can see how now it flattened right on out. Very, very nice. Okay, so realistically, we can close above that. We got a good shot at this 21-day. Now, if we can get above that 21 SMA, then you want to look to the bottom of that candle right there, 2264 level, and then we just ratchet these candles right on up here. You got 2310 level. We come up top of that candle. You got our bottom of that candle, 2347, and then we just keep right on going here, 2355. And then we come up there at that 2418, and we'll be looking for the 100-day here at, let's see here, at that 2439, and the 50-day just right above it. Again, we just have to watch that 8-day, okay? But actually, this chart is actually looking very, very nice. Now, on the downside, you want to watch today's low. That's at 1980, and then we want to come to the bottom there, 1934, and then we come down to this 1922, and then 1899, that's going to be very, very key. And then if we lose that, we can come down to the bottom of this candle right here at that 1845 level, okay? Then you can just venture right on down. You got 1796. We got 1769, 1738, and then we have that 1669 retest. But right now we just have sideways consolidation. And also the beauty of this is, you can see here we got to an oversold condition, and now we're right above, but man, you got a lot of room to go on the upside here, okay? So always remember that. The same way with the MACD, we're hugging that bottom, so any kind of juice above that 8-day could send this bad boy higher. Okay, let's take a look here now at NVIDIA. All right, here we have NVIDIA. Now, remember, their numbers are coming out here on the 27th. The only thing I don't like about it is right now they stopped making that chip, that H20 chip. They put a hold on that to go to China because I guess they're saying there's some kind of like a glitch in a chip, something on that order. So we got to be very, very careful here with NVIDIA, okay? So just remember, just it's all going to be about what this AI is and going down the road and all that kind of stuff. So just always remember that. Now, what we're really looking for here on the upside is 178.75. That's that 8-day, and 178.71. These are going to be very key. You have to get and close back above that. If you can, we'll come to the top of that candle, 182.50, and then we work yourself up to that 184.48. Now, again, if you crack that, you're going to head to that 200 mark very easily. Okay. Now, on the downside here, what we're watching is going to be watch the bottom of that candle. That's at 173.81. We'll watch today's low, 171.20, and then we'll watch to the bottom of that candle at 168.80, and then we'll be looking for that 166.99, and that's going to be very critical on a closing basis. Is that 50-day. Now, again, there is a sport. All we got to do is just take this come right on over. You got 160.98. We'll come to the top of there, 158.71. And we can just come all the way on down. But realistically, you'll be heading right for that 100-day and possibly that 200-day at 137 level. Now, we have this negative divergence that was going on here. Okay, see this negative divergence where you have high kind of a situation. So again, just be a little bit careful. But now we're trying to work itself on up here. The green is still below your red. But again, what the key is going to be is a close over that 21-day and a close over that 8-day situation. Now, we lose that. This 50-day is going to be critical on a closing basis. If not, we just bring these price channels here right across. Okay, so again, I'm saying we lose that. That's going to be your first target right there, that 164 level. There will be a next target at 162 level. And then we say we can just bring this right across, and we can also use the tops because these were the breakout situations all the way down to the 100-day. Now, again, it's like Powell. It's not going to be almost like the news that's going to matter. It's going to be the reaction. Now, remember, in the market, the Dow's up 950 today. You got an all-time high. The key about it is you had a lot of short traders, and now they're getting squeezed here. And this is what's happening why the market is big rallying. So we got to see if it continue into the end of the day and continue there next week. Okay. But again, on NVIDIA, remember, the earnings are on the 27th. Okay. Let's take a look here now at Meta. Now, here we have the Meta. Okay, so now we're rolling here pretty good. Now, Meta and Google signed a $10 billion cloud service mega deal. Okay, so this is going to be kind of interesting with the old cloud going forward very nicely. All right, so what we're really watching on the upside on Meta is we're going to be watching that 21-day, 754.98, and then we're going to be watching that 763.27. That's that 8-day. We get above it, we're going to come right to the top, what do we have? Yeah, 767 up there, and then we're going to come up here. You got 775 level, and then we're going to come all the way to the left of the chart here, 784, and then we have that retest at 796. Then obviously you crack that, you can go to 800, and then you work your way 825, 850, till you work yourself all the way up to 1,000. Now, might not happen today, but eventually. Okay. Now we still have this gap that is unfilled. So what we're watching on the downside is we're watching that 729.58. Okay, that's going to be key. And then we'll be watching the top of that candle, 708.50. Okay, there's your gap, and then here's your fill. It hasn't filled it yet. So the 50-day, and then we watch that gap, 708.50, and then we have this retest down here sitting at 691.20, which is basically just the bottom of that candle. Then we can just follow the candles all the way on down. See how it's 678 here. This is why we use the price channel. See how nice that is? It comes right across. But we also have a gap all the way down here, 621.03, and then we have 606.97. Also another gap, okay, 570, and then you have your fill at what do we got there at 549. Okay, and another gap all the way down here, 516, and then we have your fill at 506. Okay, so there is a lot of gaps and a lot of fills if this does get hammered. But right now, we're looking here very good. We're holding that 50-day, and that's going to be very crucial how much we held it right in the past also. So watch that 50-day on the bottom, and that 21-day on the top. We get above it, we'll be looking for that 8-day. Okay, we lose that 50-day, we're going to be looking for this retest at 691 level. Now, we look at the RSI. Well, RSI here is sitting, that's not overbought or oversold. The green crossed your red because we had this downtrend and we went to the downside. So we got to see how this all shakes out, but just be a little bit patient if you're trading the metal. Okay, let's take a look here now at Google. Here we have Google. Now, Google's getting his act together here. Okay, very nice. Now, what I'm waiting for is right there is a close above that 206.44. That is going to be very crucial. If we get above that, all we got really for resistance is this 207.05. Okay, that's all we got. Now, you crack above that, then you can eventually go to 225, 250, and you're going to work your way up to that 300 mark. Very easy. Now, you look at this chart. It's very good. Bottom left, upper right, series of higher highs and higher lows. Very nice looking chart. Okay, but we do have this negative divergence going on here. So we have a high, higher high, high, lower high. Okay, so you got to be just a little bit careful. But again, what you need to do is got to close above that 206.44, and then all you got is that 207.05, and then we're, you know, in no man's land. You can just venture right on up. All right, on the downside, you're watching that 202, that's your 8-day, and then when we're watching that 21-day at 198. We lose that situation. You come down to this 109, 107 level, okay, and then we want to come to the bottom of this candle right here. This is that 196 level, okay? So that's what we're going to be looking at here on the support level. Then we just follow it down until we hit that 187.82 and maybe even that 50-day. And then you can have your 200-day and we have your 100-day. But right now, this chart looks very, very bullish here. Just watch that negative divergence for a change and then watch that key level. You close above that 206.44. All you got is this. And then, man, she's got room to run. Okay, let's take a look here now at Tesla. All right, here we have Tesla. They're grouping this all in here with the old trade. They figured this is going to do. Now, Tesla also announced that if you want to lease their car, it's no money down and just make the payment. No money down, just make the payment if you want to lease their car, okay? So what we're looking at, let's take a look at the downside here first. Just watch that 331.20. That's going to be key. Then we watch that 200-day at 328. Then we watch that 50-day at 321. So everything is stuck right there. And then we get to the bottom at 314. And we have your 100-day, 308. And then we have your retest at 297.82. Then obviously we just follow the candles down. Okay, you got 288 level here. And then we come down to the bottom. You got a 273. And then we just work yourself all the way on down. Okay, there is a gap all the way down here, okay, at that 244.43, and then we have 242.79. So there's a gap and fill in case we start losing all that. Now, on the upside, this is what we're looking at. It's 348.98, okay? So that's what we have as a sideways active. But we still have a downtrending scenario, okay? You really need to get close above that 348.98 level. If you do, we just bring this price channel right across. That's what you're looking at. It's 357.54. Then we're going to bring it right on top of there at 367.71. And then we just venture all the way up here, bring all those price channels, take it all the way up. But the key is you have to get in close above right there, that 348.98. Right now we just have this sideways action, you can see. But a lot of times when you build this sideways action, you build energy, okay? And then you can take this bad boy higher. But let's just see how this all shakes out. Now remember, at the end of September, September 30th, all that $7,500 credit, that's gone. Okay, so now you're going to have to try to sell this kind of this EV here for full price kind of a situation. So we can see now they had on CNBC the guy today, the CEO of Jeep, and they're coming out with cheaper vehicles. Okay, you can buy this vehicle for less than 40 grand. Nobody wants to be paying $750, $1,000 a month to rent a car. I mean that's just like to lease a car, to own a car. That's like beyond crazy kind of a situation. So, you know, they're making cheaper vehicles, so we got to see how that subsidy of that $7,500 comes off, what the reaction is going to be. Now, remember, they should have a good quarter because everybody's rushing in to get that $7,500 to buy, but we got to see what happens after that. That's going to be the key. Now, RSI, well, you're looking okay, 55, plenty of room to run. Sideways action here, but we just have this overall sideways action. So, bottom line, just watch that 348.98. You got to crack above it. And then right here, you watch all this 320 area. This is your key support. If you lose it, you got it the 100-day. And then we have the retest at 297. Okay, let's take a look here now at Amazon. Now, here we have Amazon. Now, I'm a big fan of Amazon. I just ordered a product and boom, it's in. I never pay shipping. They say, all you got to do now, they raise it up to $35 because they gave all those UPS guys, you know, a raise, $140,000 to drop a package off at the door. I don't get that. But anyway, they're setting up all their distribution centers, and that's the same way to do it here. They set up a distribution center, and that is nice. Man, you get your package, there's no issue. They take a picture of it, boom, right to your email. You know it's sitting right on your door. Nice. Love it. I mean, Amazon, very, very good. Okay. Now, you can see here how we put this bottom, but we never really hit that 200-day. And now we're rallying up here nicely with the rest of the market. And so what we're doing is watching this 227.39. That's that key 8 SMA on the upside. We crack above it. We just venture right on up. You got 233.53. We'll come up there. You got 234 level. And then we have this big retest there at 236.53. Now, we can get above that. You don't have much to go to 242.52, and that's your breakout. Then she'll head for that 300 mark, okay? Eventually crawl right on up there. And I think she's going to get there. Maybe not today, but eventually I think she'll roll. Now, on the downside, you want to watch that 21-day We want to watch this 50-day at 222.40. And then what we want to do is we want to watch the bottom of that candle at 219 level. And then we can have this 200-day sitting at 212. And then you have the Hondo sitting at 208. Now, we look at this chart, you got, plenty of room to run. This is just not overbought or oversold the same way with the MACD. So overall, this is looking good. It had a really, really good run, and it never got to an overbought condition, okay? It just basically just had a really nice, good run up here, and we just had a very, very strong whole situation, okay? So when you get these overbought conditions like this, then you always get that drop. See how this? And then you get that drop. This is just a very, very nice situation. Yeah, we had a little sell-off. Okay, with the rest of the market, no big deal. And now it looks like she's rallying up here. So again, if we can crack that 236.53, then we got that 242 level. And then above that, she just runs. Okay, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here after your pick close. We'll take a look at Bitcoin, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas. And we'll take a look at the indexes, which are just smoking higher due to that POS Powell. What a wuss. All right, trade what's in front of you. Now what you want.
Wow.